In this week's video, I meet Barrier in Race A. Race B, what the heck is happening here between these two? And in Race C, 130R side by side, is it possible? Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gran Turismo weekly race guide here in 2022. It's week 51 and this week, well, it's an unusual week, I would say, with Race C being a little bit more normal. In the background, you can see we're at Daytona Tri-Oval. Yes, we're doing some NASCAR here, and we're doing it in the Corvette C8, the brand new car. Well, let's have a bit more look into what we're actually doing then. We're racing 7 laps here at Daytona. It's a rolling start, of course it is. Sports hard tyres, tires on fuel and tyre wear, and BOP is on, so there's no tuning either. So literally, get out there and have some very, very, very close racing action, or Destruction Derby, whichever one you think is going to happen. Anyway, we have a nice lovely TCR livery there. There's a fair few of them about. Thank you to everyone who's made a livery. Some NASCAR liveries in there as well by Inferno Fox. But before we jump to the race, there are timestamps. Use those to jump to a different race if you don't want to look at this one. However, it's always worth looking at Race A for the absolute carnage that can ensue. Let's jump to that now. Let's have a look at exactly what happens. Here we are then at the start of the first race. You'll see why shortly. So here we go then. And off we go with Mario Sonic there getting an absolute dreadful start. So we're going to take that position straight off your hands up into P8. We did see Arkies in the background there. You can check out Arkies on YouTube, of course. Just YouTube that name. Simples. Right, so let's advance a bit further on then, where we're right behind. Oh, somebody's just been sent to the realms there into Barrier as we go on the inside. Get 3 positions. How about that one, folks? Nice early victory there for us. Up into P5, nearly P4. Can we get P4? Let me have it, please. 5,000, 1,000, equal. We're equal. Oh no, we're losing out again with no slipstream. So we stay in P5 for now. Into the banking on lap 2 we go. And it is P5 for now. Oh, a little bit of contact up ahead as we go through here. Carbon loses rear end. We tap them slightly, so we come off. And we're just going to come back onto the circuit slowly but surely because we have to be safe here. Oh, look, it resets me. What a stupid reset that. What kind of reset is that? I'm coming on nice and slowly to make sure I don't kill anyone. But no, Gran Turismo resets me. Oh, right. Okay, so now you know that, folks. In the future, don't do that. Just come on and absolutely obliterate everybody, apparently. Hey, there we go. Right, okay, race 2. Mario Sonic gets a much better start this time as we're going to continue on. We'll fast forward bits here. You don't want to watch all the speeding up and get into places, etc. You just want to see the race in action here as we get close to Mario Sonic. So obviously, you want to find yourself a couple of friends or a friend, at least one friend at least, in this race, and bump draft them. Now, I wasn't sure how the cars will fully handle bump drafting in the corners, which is why I sort of edged out a little bit there. But you can see the line of cars up ahead. Obviously, a few of these people have done a couple of these races by this point, as this was the 8 o'clock race, so 3 races had happened. So we see somebody into Barrier there, sparks flying everywhere. It's Ransom Hank and Mario Sonic going side by side. That's Jarin _27. That was in the Barrier there. I hope you enjoyed that date. Through the left we go then. There's only one leftage, or there's 3 lefts. You don't turn right though. Oh, Ransom Hank. So I did look at this, and it looks like there was netcode involved there, because Mario didn't move that much, and it sent Ransom Hank to the realms. Now, later on, you're going to see something similar as well, but yeah, we'll get to that shortly. As we get the inside there of Panastia, I don't know. I can't pronounce names to save my life, can I? As we are still on the inside of... It's another bronzed car there. Did they hit the barrier? I'm not too sure. We got the sound of that. As we then go on the inside of Ghost, then up into P3. So we're making our way through the field. You don't want to be in P1 until the very end in NASCAR, usually, because then you just slip by them on the back straight. So let's fast forward here a little bit longer into the banking once again then. And yeah, we're just a bit offline here as we come out of there. But we've got Elden Lord's slipstream, which is nice. And we got a bit of bump draft from somebody behind. So thank you for that as we go. It's like, oh, a bit of contact there again. Not sure if that was netcode. I did miss that then as I'm commentating on it. As we're going to bump draft Mario Sonic then. So at this point I was like, okay, let's keep it nice and safe. Now, here's what I'm talking about with the netcode there. A normal bump draft, but I lose like 15 miles an hour there, which is unusual. You're not meant to do that. So obviously the server thinks I'm somewhere and Mario Sonic's somewhere else. Not sure whether Mario Sonic's on Wi-Fi or not. I'm not on Wi-Fi, so that could be an issue. I don't know. Maybe Mario Sonic can help there. So I got a bump draft from behind. I went into the barrier. I had a date there. Fortunately, it wasn't too bad. I managed to get off, and as we come through here, Ghost just misjudges out slightly. Tried to go around my outside, just gives me a bit of bump draft, so thank you. It helps me out massively. As we see Jarin then come in as well and give me another bump draft, so we catch up. So it's not the end of the road for me yet. We're still in this fight for P1. As we go down the inside, there's just enough of a Corvette size space there, and we take that position. So we're in a bit of a run here. Look at this long slipstream period, and going on to the final lap, it looks like we're in with a shot, which is nice. As we see the fake Brit up ahead, I'm assuming they are from America. They did say America in the chat, I'm not too sure. We go through the left then, and we get a bit of a bump draft there from Jarin behind, who then gets on the inside. So it's a beautifully well done move there by Jarin. We're sort of 3 wide here, and we don't have slipstream, so we're in the wrong place, that completely wrong place. Outside line, no slipstream. We are in the worst place possible here. Now, I wasn't expecting to be sent there, but they managed to sort themselves out. And I'm down to P5, so I'm trying to get down on the inside line very quickly. We managed to do that just here, and I'm going to hopefully have a run at somebody here as we head towards the line then. Mario Sonic still in the lead there, so doing very well in P1 as they go side by side up ahead, and we finish in P5. So that was not too bad of a race, to be honest with you, in the grand scheme of it. But there will be Destruction Derby here. There will be massive crashes because the car has a bit of weight transfer. Anyway, that's going to be it for race A. Let's go to race B. Welcome to France then, where we're at Sainte-croix, but layout A, which is an interesting layout. One a bit closer to my heart because this is where I competed at the European finals and actually qualified for the World Finals in 2018. So I do know this track quite well. In the background, you can see we're in Group 4 machinery, which we didn't race in. We're racing Group 3 at the time. Let's jump to the race details. Let's find out exactly what we're doing here. We're racing 2 laps at Sainte-croix A. It's a rolling start. We're on racing hard tyres, tyres or fuel and tyre wear, and we're in Group 4. So a very short race in the grand scheme of it. 2 laps, which does mean there's a lot of racing action in this kind of race when there's only 2 laps. It's a very wide track as well, so you will have some good racing here. You really will do. Let's jump to that race then. Let's have a look exactly what happens, and you'll get a lovely lap guide right at the end. Here we are then at the start. So a mixture of driver ratings there. You'll also notice that I'm in a Subaru. Now, I chose the Subaru because it's a very fast circuit. You're going to need a very fast car here. So the Alpha, while it's good on the corners, it's a very wide track. You can use a faster car here. The Subaru is just going to dominate this by the end. I'm sure it is. But even so, let's find out as we head towards turn 1. Behind Mario Sonic again. Mario is in all of these as we go into the right-hander here. Yeah, so let's up ahead. Goes a little bit wide there. A little bit of contact on the exit. There's definitely room there for that driver there. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that in case YouTube goes, that's a swear word. Anyway, down the right-hand side of them we go, and in towards the braking zone we go. And there's an absolute punt and a half here. Alfa Romeo crossing my screen there. We'll have a look at that in the bloopers at the very end. Yes, folks, the bloopers are always there, so do check them out. In towards this left-hander, which is very hard to get right. It's one of the hardest corners to get right in Gran Turismo, I would say. Very easy to get it wrong, so I've practiced that corner a lot in the past. So go towards the right-hander then, and Mario Sonic just a little tap behind, nothing major there. Just tap right themselves back like a meter or two. No harm, no foul, as we then look up ahead where we've got Alphas everywhere and the Corvette of Ransom Hank. Well done, Handsome Frank, Ransom Hank. As we leave that corner then, we've got a bit of a run on this Alfa Romeo. Bump draft there from Mario Sonic behind. Thank you very much, mate. In towards the braking zone. This Alfa goes very deep into the corner. Truck driver saw it. Well played, Truck driver 74. As we look to gain advantage from that as well. Through the left-hander in towards this right. Very easy to get this one wrong. I left a bit of space there because Mario Sonic was there. Essentially, what a lot of people do is go way too aggressive into the corner, and then you end up going wide. Same for this corner as well. Very easy to get this one wrong because of the bumps. You see the bumps there as well where the track joins. Huge bump, forces a lot of understeer. I'll talk about that in the track guide as well. As Alokine, they're going very slow in that Sylvia, so we're going to just dart on by here and head up into our favourite position, apparently, P6. Ransom Hank up ahead. So in towards this braking zone we go, and the Sylvia just brakes way too late, way too late. They back out of it there. Obviously, it was a mistake by the French driver. We managed to catch it, though, thankfully, and continue on. So we get onto the bridge now. We had the hazards flashing there of Hank. Now, I wasn't sure if that was a hello or what, but then they let me by there. So thank you very much. You didn't have to do that. We can still have a good race as we enter the chicane here. Very, very deadly chicane, especially on the exit. I mean, look how close that wall is on the exit. Very easy to get that one wrong. We advance then to lap 2, the start of lap 2. And 2 phones, Eddie, just on the inside of Greenland there. A little bit of contact, and Greenland doesn't like that. Absolutely goes for the punt. Now, I have no idea whether there's some history there between these two, but I don't like seeing revenge punting anymore. I've always said, you know, I used to do the 3-strike rule. I've always said that, but I don't do that anymore as we go down the inside of Greenland. We'll see if we can have a good race with Greenland all the same. It's better to review afterwards because I don't think that was quite bad from Eddie, to be honest with you. So, yeah, not the greatest. I wonder if Greenland is from Greenland. Obviously, it's a Danish flag, but I'm pretty sure Greenland is a part of Denmark. So, who knows? It'd be nice if we are racing them from Greenland. In towards the right-hander we go. They're just ahead of me there, so they take the apex there. Good stuff from Greenland as we then head towards the second right-hander here. Now, this one you can be aggressive on. Really get on the throttle early there. You can see how early I was on that throttle. So Greenland goes defensive. Good decision there as you head up towards this left-hander. Very hard to get a move done on this corner, if I'm honest with you, as they brake a bit early there, and they're going to come back at me. You can use all of the circuit here on this part of the circuit. It's just very nice to, and you'll carry the speed a bit more there as we're still actually on the inside now of Greenland, and we should get this done there, and we do indeed. Through we go into P3. Happy days indeed. P2 and P1 in the distance there. 2.8 seconds. Very hard to get that back. As we go through here, I just wanted to demo that the Alpha is slow in a straight line, which is why the Subaru is the better choice. So I would pick the Subaru, but obviously use the Alpha if you want to. We head towards the end then, where we are catching them very quickly. They've been in a right ding-dong battle here, Diddy and Stacey guy. As we go into this last corner then, Diddy goes a bit deep. Stacey going for the cutback here as they head towards the line then. Who's going to get the victory here? We're getting in the mix as well. They head towards the line, and it's going to be Diddy just gets it there from Stacey, and we get P3. Good race with Greenland. I'm not a fan of the punting there. We'll have another look at that in the bloopers, of course. That's it for race B. Let's jump to the track guide for it. Here we are then at Sainte-croix. Let's head towards turn 1 then. And we have these meter boards, brake boards at the top. And we're looking for the 100 meter board. Nice and easy as you go into turn 1. So what I want you to really look at in this lap guide is I'm braking hard from 100 meters down into the 50 meter area, and then I'm trailing off the brakes. Try and practice that to improve. Now you can go a bit more on the slippery stuff on the inside there than I did, and that will give you a little bit more lap time as we fast forward towards turn 2 then. Once again, we are looking for that 100 meter board. Now you do have to make sure you hit the apex on this corner. It's off camber, so if you go wide at all, you're going to lose so much time. Again, braking hard up to that 50 meter board, chuck it in, and then head out towards that outside. Now we are going to be turning left again here, so we are looking for that 50 meter board here when we go into this left-hander. This is a really tricky corner to get right. You want to sort of aim for the barrier a little bit here. If you remotely run wide, it's going to cost yourself a lot of time there. And look how close I get to the barrier, and I still don't quite get it right here. Very easy to go too early on the throttle there and go out wide and be on the grass. So just be careful there. As we head to this corner, I'm not sure whether the orange tents are going to be there in practice. That's what I use. If they're not there, you've got the end of the fence on the left-hand side. I normally use the orange tents, though, and as I'm focused a lot on the race, that is what I'm using here. Be aggressive through this corner. You can be. Same with the next corner here, as you're using the end of the trees on the right-hand side. The last tree is a very good brake marker here. And again, with this corner, be very aggressive. So I dropped the third gear here. I chuck in, and I'm on the throttle extremely early, well before the apex there as well, because you can. And you've got this long straight here. Let's fast forward to the end of it then, where we're going to use the 100 meter board. Again, focus on the hard braking, 100 meters down towards that 50 meters, and then just release. Keep it in your peripheral vision, okay? As we then release, we chuck it in. Again, aiming for that barrier, and then accelerate through the corner. You can use a bit more of that outside. I did do a lap after this, but I failed at the end of it, and I really went close. But again, that was up on this time at this point. Now, as you come into this corner, you want to brake just after that red painted barrier on the left-hand side, okay? If you brake in early here, you're going to turn in early and you're going to run out wide. So if you turn in later, you can actually do it a lot better. As you notice there, I had to delay the throttle. They even turn in a bit early then. Now, as you head towards this corner, this is a very tricky corner to get right. You don't really want to brake for it. So you want to lift and already be turning before that marker on the right-hand side, okay? And you really want to clip the curb on the inside if you can. Notice there, we nail it absolutely fine. We accelerate through the corner. There's 2 bumps there that will force you to understeer out wide. The second one particularly, be careful of that. Now, as we head towards this left-hander, very tricky corner to get right this. So the start of the curb is your brake marker here, okay? You may want to go and try and brake towards the 100 meter board, but you're going to cost yourself on the exit. Because what you actually want to do is cut a little bit the inside here and be careful about extending the corner too much on the outside there. There is penalties that you will get, and you don't want penalties. Head towards the hairpin then. The start of the green curbing is your brake marker here. And I'm braking just before that as well. Obviously, it's all based on what you did on the previous corner, which obviously if you nail, you'd be coming in here absolutely 300 miles an hour, so you do have to be careful. It tightens on exit, so just be careful there. You want to overslow the car to get round. As you head towards the left-hander, towards the bridge, essentially you can either use just after the start of the curb, the red and white curb in there on the right-hand side, or try and get as close as you can to that 50-meter board, okay? And you want to later turn in here. You sort of want to try and avoid that bump there on the bridge. It's a bit painful and can force some understeer. As we head towards the end of the bridge then, you have the give way sign there. Beautiful brake mark here. Can't be wiped out. It's on both lanes as well. So literally I'm braking just as that starts to leave the screen. You're about to see that here, okay? And you want to overslow the car again. Try and get on that slippy stuff a little bit here. And then dab the brake, chuck it left, hopefully clip the curb, and then be careful on exit. That barrier is so close to the track that you will see people hitting that. So just be aware. Now this corner, you want to get out wide here. Notice how I go out wide. I'm not keeping it tight. And my aim is to then come back at the curb. This is for weight transfer here. If I keep it tight, I'm going to end up too far wide. I can full throttle it taking this line. You can't if you stay tight. Keep that in mind. This left-hander, very easy to get this wrong. Very easy to go too aggressive here. But you're trying to get as close to the 100-meter board as possible. Notice I'm braking about 120 meters here. And then I'm turning in and I'm delaying that throttle because, once again, the barrier is very close. You can easily hit that barrier on exit. Let's go towards the last corner then. In this Subaru especially, it's going to get a bit iffy on the weight. So I used a tree on the right-hand side. There's a 100-meter board there if you want to use that instead. I used the tree. So as that tree's just about to hit the edge of your screen, I brake. Notice the car already wanted to oversteer there. Accelerate through the corner, and that is a lap of Sainte-croix. Then as we head towards the line, that's 220. Easy 219s here available to you. That's it then. Let's head to the next race. Welcome to Japan then for race C, where we're at Suzuka, which normally is a good combo. Although this week, I'm not sure whether it is or not. We'll find out later on. We do have some good racing later on, so, don't go anywhere with this one. Now, what are we doing here? Let's jump straight into those details. We're racing 10 laps at Suzuka. It's a rolling start, and we're on the racing soft and medium tyres. Both are required. ×2 fuel, ×7 tyre wear, and of course, it's Group 3. Now, I'm in the GTR. I would have thought the MR cars would have been quite good here. They used to be in GT Sport. However, they seem a bit broken. If you remember Spa with the weight transfer of the Porsche, it has the same problem here. So I jumped into a GTR. Very easy to drive, very comfortable to drive. Let's jump to the race then. Let's have a look exactly what happens because we do have some good racing action. Here we are then at the start. So we're starting P10, which is quite a way up the grid. Our driver rating's gone up quite a lot with all the LMP or Group 1 races that we did in the week. So, hey, it's not too... I think, you know what? This account might be above my LCR one. I'm going to have to be careful of that. Anyway, you can see the rolling start. Perfect. Thank you, PD. I'm glad these rolling starts have been sorted. It really is nice to see. And we also had that silly bug that we used to have where the last player would start at Tidgney too. That was hilarious when that bug was in. Well, not hilarious for the driver, but for everybody else. Right, we advance further on into lap 1 then, where obviously it all gets very tight on lap 1. I chose the medium tyres first, of course. As Captain Stupendous. What happened there, mate? You've literally not even got going there out of the hairpin. So we take P9 off you there. And a shout out to you as well. It's always nice to see you racing. Into towards the left we go. And that GTR off there. So we just give him a bit of room to come back on as we go through the left-hander and up into P8. So yeah, I chose medium tyres because I'm slightly near the back. And the tyre wear is significant here, folks. It is significant. In fact, it's so significant, I don't think there's going to be that varied strategy, if I'm honest with you. And that is half the problem with this race. Anyway, you see Marisonic going side by side with Ricardo into turn 1. Beautiful side by side. Well played to Ricardo there, keeping P6. That was some beautiful racing. Well played to both of you there. It was nice to see. I thought there'd be a bit of a carnage there and one of you going off. But no, you didn't. The leader there actually been in it. That's Toma78. We'll have a look at the bloopers, what happened to them. Because they were leading the race, I believe, in that Porsche. Although I wouldn't pick a Porsche for this race, if I'm brutally honest. It's a bit sketchy into the hairpin. As we go through the left-hander then. And all racing action up ahead. That's a fight for P2, I believe. As we go through the right there, Marisonic just left the gap open there as they were fighting with Ricardo. We take our favourite position, of course, as we head up the spoon. So we're looking on Ricardo as well. And the inside, we're trying to get a bit cheeky there. Ricardo left me enough space. Ricardo, you have got some beautiful driving, if I do say so. You are very well aware. It's really nice to race you, I've got to be honest. I've seen some awesome stuff. You are my driver of the week. You are my driver of the week. Honestly, really well played. As we are behind Ricardo here. So once again, I'm going to put the aggression on here. Try and go down the inside Is Ricciardo going to give it up? No, he's not. And through he goes and keeps that position again. Very well aware of what's happening there. Knew they were the lead car. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant stuff. Into the S's we go again. Behind Ricciardo. Through the right we go, and they just go a tiny bit too aggressive, and they lose the rear end. So it wasn't a bad rejoin there. They just lost the rear end as they came back on, so they couldn't really do much. Sorry to see that, Ricciardo, but oh my word, some beautiful driving that we saw earlier on. Really well played with that. We leave the Tidgney 2 then. We've caught up to this GTR here of Zeno, I believe that is, as we head through the right and in towards the braking zone. Then we're going to try around the outside of the hairpin. Not always the best idea. However, we just get it done here. GTR leaves me just enough room. Beautiful driving from the Spaniard as well. It's nice when you can have good races like this, where you can race people, and it's awesome and fun. Honestly, I fully enjoyed this as we head towards Spoon then. And the Spaniard is still there. We're going to have to leave room at Spoon. Now, I did think I'd get punted here. I really did think I'd get punted, especially here. But the Spaniard judges it beautifully. Oh. You can be driver of the week too. You're both driver of the week. Zeno and Ricciardo there. Beautiful driving. That was good fun. Really good fun. We're up into P4 there. Let's see what we can do as we look in the distance to a Ford Mustang there of Muscaffi as we go through the left-hander here. My first time being out of dirty air pretty much here as we head towards the braking zone. I got a bit defensive here, just in the middle of the road, just trying to avoid anybody going down that inside. Through the left, you can see Plebs just come in on lap 5 with those soft tyres. We've got Muscaffi on mediums. I'm on mediums. Zeno was on the soft tyres there, so obviously struggling at Tidgney 2, which is why we got the advantage there. Coming out here, yellow flag, so somebody's binned it somewhere in the distance. That's turn 1, of course. As we go through it there, we can see them there. We'll find out who that is in just a second. Oh, it's Magford. Magford off there. What car are they in? They're in a Genesis. So, yeah, they've not done the best there. A Red Bull Genesis. As we go through this right-hander, you can see they're really struggling. We go for the cutback there on the fresh tyres. Job done. I was worried I was going to get held up a lot here in the S's and Muscaffi would break away. It didn't happen, fortunately. As we go through the right, we've got TCR, Fuzzy Bear in the distance. Shout out to you, my friend, being a part of TCR. Unfortunately, goes off to the realms there. And MR cars, not really working out at this track, if I do say so. But yeah, shout out to TCR Fuzzy Bear. And shout out to all of TCR. It's an awesome team. It's a good community team. We normally practice these sessions on a Sunday before the weekly race starts. However, we couldn't this week just because of family commitments from myself. We're looking at the inside of Muscaffi then as we head towards 130R. The same move again, and this time it's more long sides. So we go into it side by side and survive side by side. Oh, wow. That was some beautiful racing there, Muscaffi. Absolutely beautiful. Gets it stopped there for the chicane. Absolutely awesome stuff there. That was, so good. You can be driver of the week too. Everyone's driver of the week. You can have it. Everybody's got it. Happy days. It's good racing. I love it. So a lot of people coming in on lap 7. The end of lap 6, for the medium tyres, which is what I would suggest as well. 6 on the medium, 4 on the soft. We've done 5-5 here, and you'll see why at the end. As we come through here, then Muscaffi defends turn 1 beautifully there as we are now in the fight for that victory then, for P1 with that Ford Mustang in the distance. So through the right-hander we go in the S's, then the left. We're just looking for a place to overtake. Not going to quite work here. So we're just slowing the car down. You'll notice I'm not using the brake very much. I don't like using the brake in the S's, irrespective of the car. It's always better to just let the car roll, keep it balanced, than the braking and the huge weight transfer that happens in Gran Turismo. It's not good as we then head towards the right-hander. It's also not good for your tyre wear braking. Remember, Muscaffi! Oh, that's not good for your tyre wear either. Some oversteer there. We go around the outside at Tidgney 2, and it looks like we're going to get this job done then as we head towards the hairpin. Are we going to get it done? We're on the inside here, and we're going to slow it down now. And yes, we have. There's actually a fight behind there between Marisonic and Muscaffi, and yes, we do. Now, the first time into the Casio Triangle, I outbrake myself here, so I'm actually going to have to defend going into turn 1. Well, this wasn't good because I thought, happy days, I've broken away. I can just relax towards the end of the race. Not the case as we head towards the racing line then, and I see the Ford Mustang coming, so I'm going to go to that defensive line then, and I'm going to stay here. You're not going past there as we then look to defend. Muscaffi was looking for the cutback potentially. I do not go deep here. I managed to survive. I go deep a little bit here though, but there's not enough of a size that car there or space for that Mustang as we advance to lap 9 now. What's going to happen here? I'm all on my Todd. What is going to happen here? We're going to head through the 130R and we're just going to get it slightly wrong. Oh, we bring it back on. Thank goodness for that. Well, look at that tyre wear. We still have one more lap to go on that tyre wear. Now, look at the gap to Mario Sonic there. 1.3 seconds. that gap is about to increase as we go to the final lap to 5.5. I think my Sonic's tyres were done. Mine are very close to done. I don't brake as much as everybody else really in Suzuka, so that's the reason why. But my word, we won! TCR victory! Happy days! I'd say the MR cars are going to be difficult here. Remember to do 6 laps on the medium, 4 on the soft. That's it for Suzuka. But we need a track guide, Tidge. Well, here at Suzuka then, heading towards turn 1. We're looking for what we normally use here, which is that piece of tarmac on the left-hand side. You could use a 50 as well. Because we're on the soft tyres, we're going to go in very aggressive into turn 1. If you're in an MR car, just be wary of that rear end. Once it's come out, you may want to overlay a little bit. As you come through here, just trail brake through the corner, keep the car balanced, and then accelerate out. Avoid going too wide there. Now, into the S's here, it's just all about lifting, letting the car roll through the corner. Notice I'm not using the brake here. I don't want to unsettle the car. This is my go-to strategy here for a Suzuka. Then if I want to start pushing, like I do on this corner here, I dab the brake a little bit. I will then start pushing on and dabbing the brake a little bit. But initially, just control the car. As we leave this corner, don't run too wide. The grass will pull you off the circuit and send you into the shadow realm. As we head towards Tidgney 1 then, you have that flag indicator on the left-hand side. It's just before the 50, and essentially you're just going to come down 1 gear and don't abuse the curb too much because it will bounce you up. Head over to the left-hand side here, and we've got that tent there on the left-hand side. It's a really good marker, this. As it leaves your screen, hit the brakes. It seems early, but actually it sets you up very nicely for Tidgney 2 here. Notice I can clip the curb very nicely, and we have a very clean exit there for Tidgney 2. We're going to head up towards the hairpin then, get over towards the right-hand side, and the end of the curb there, a beautiful brake mark here because this is your direct line all the way to the hairpin. If you are in an MR car, be careful of that rear end. It will want to shift about, similar at Spa as well, where it just wants to drift. You're about to see that now. Notice the rear end slip, but with the Porsche, it can catch itself very nicely on that hairpin. Accelerate out and have a bit of a breather now as we head towards Spoon. Just stay tight as you can here, really. There's no need to drift as far wide as I do there. You're essentially just losing a little bit of time. As you head towards Spoon, then we're actually using that piece of tarmac once again. We always use this tarmac. It's very helpful. I'm braking just before that. You can see that right there. And essentially what you want to do is you want to clip the inside curb, head out towards the outside here, and I'm going to dab the brake there. Before that curb ends here, I'm already turning away from the curb. If I stay on the curb as the curb ends, it's going to drag me out. You don't want that to happen. So we're just trail braking out into the corner. We clip the curb and then we can accelerate out. And we're doing that in 2nd gear if you're in the Porsche. Right, we're going to head all the way up to 130R then, because we're on soft tyres and downforce is very prevalent in Gran Turismo 7. This is flat. I do it in 6th gear just so the car stays a bit more balanced and there's a bit more front grip on the front. Obviously, if you're in 5th gear, what happens is the car is lifting up a bit more at the front, so you'll understeer a bit more. So just keep that in mind. Head towards the final chicane then. There's that yellow line there that leads off to that old pit entry. That is my brake marker, essentially. I see that line. I go, okay, hit the brakes. And that is what I do here. So clip the first curb here. Don't cut as much on the second curb anymore. Accelerate out. And then hopefully you've done a nice, good lap here at Suzuka. And that is it for the guide. But it's not it for the video because it's now time for the bloopers. Here we are with the first one. So this Mercedes then, heading towards this left-hander. They just outbrake themselves. You can see they're using a lot of the driving assist as well. So, I think they're just learning, to be honest with you. But I think you need a bit more practice before jumping in if you're struggling that much. They do get a 4-second penalty, though, which I think is justified. You should have waited, though, for the other driver because you did cause them to get punted. Now, this is the takeout, essentially. I was trying to look for something from Two Phones Ed. Cracking name, by the way, mate. Absolutely cracking. I couldn't really see anything in the last corner there. So coming into here, they just outbrake themselves a little bit. They correct the car because the car oversteers a little bit, which is fine. They go into the other driver. There's lots of room on the left-hand side. I'm sorry, I don't agree with that punt. Even if revenge punting is a thing, there's no need for that. That wasn't a dirty move. It was just a bit of bad driving. They're correcting the car. That's all it was, Greenland. So they're not acceptable in the slightest, really. Right, we jump to this bit, which we did see on the video. But yeah, we've got the Italian going off here. But look up ahead with the Porsche. Keeps pushing Captain Stupendous off. And I don't understand why. It causes an absolute carnage fest here into the 130R. Captain Stupendous clearly ahead of the Porsche there. They should have just dropped back, but yeah, they got it wrong. But then the Porsche doesn't punt Fuzzy Bear here, so I don't know. I don't know what the heck's going on there. Big incident, not needed. Very confusing. To the leader here, we did see them spinning around, and it's because they went off here. Very easy to get it wrong there. And then there's some good sportsmanship here, but just a mistake. They come on and try and get off the racing line, but in fact, they go onto the racing line by going there. They should stay to the right-hand side. Now they're panicking because they don't want to be in the way. So you can see that, they're not trying to be in the way here. They're trying to get the hell out of the way. Look, they're staying on the outside. They notice the Italian come through. They get on the inside then to get off the racing line. Again, they're going to come through here and try and get off the racing line very quickly to allow the Manfred to go through there. So, yeah, it's one of those. They're trying their best. So, a shout out to you for trying your best there, Toma. That's always nice to see. You know, you're trying to be a sportsman, letting people go there. Manfred just gets it wrong into turn 1. Very easy to do. Clip the slippy stuff on the outside and off you go. We've seen the 2019 world champion do that live at an event, actually, as well. Everybody did it, in fact. But yeah, that is it for the bloopers. So that is it for the video. If you did like it, do give it a like. Subscribe to the channel. A Christmas subscription. Be a nice person. Subscribe and like the video on the way out. Give me a present like that. Much appreciated. 2 videos there to check out, including Can I Win in That Legend? That's it for me, though. Once again, thank you so much and enjoy this week's racing.